Phil, good to have you with us here on the show.
Of course.
We are now seeing battles taking place in areas of the country that were previously peaceful. Seems like people have been left with no choice but to take up arms and protect themselves. How do you see this playing out?
Well, that is an exactly way that people on the ground would put it, that they were waiting for the international community to come in and help them. They were waiting for the UN to take a stand. They were waiting for the Association of Southeast Asian Nations to do something, and no one has done anything. So therefore, faced with this military, which is using overwhelming force, lethal force against peaceful protesters, the people are finally deciding to fight back. It is unfortunate that it has come to this, but it is not surprising in any way.
So what can be done to prevent the country sliding into a full-scale civil war? Is putting more financial pressure on the junta maybe a solution despite China's Security Council obstruction?
Well, we've been calling for real action connected to targeted economic sanctions on the military and the top leaders. We've seen some action taken. The US, the UK, Canada, the European Union have done things, but other countries have done very little. Japan or South Korea, Australia are outliers. And so it's not just China's fault, and it's not just Russia's fault. There's a failure of the international community to take the kind of steps that are needed to really put significant pressure on this military junta in Myanmar. I think that the people of Myanmar are really at the point where they are saying, we're going to have to handle this ourselves. That, once again, we've reached out to the international community. We called out the window. We asked for help and no one came. So therefore, it's up to us. And the way it plays out going forward, I think is, it's very unfortunate that we've seen the Association of Southeast Asian Nations essentially buying time for the military junta in a way that is now creating a crisis.
And the number of internally displaced people reached nearly 1 million in 2021. These numbers are expected to rise. What's the humanitarian situation like? What are your insights telling you?
Well, what we're hearing is that there is a real food crisis and a crisis of basic services. This is connected to the shutdown of the economy, the boycott and mass strike that the people have been initiating to try to force the military out of power. The way this ends peacefully is the military recognizes that they're not going to be able to hold on to power by force, and they agree to restore democracy and respect human rights. But anyone who has followed the Myanmar military over the years knows that they're not inclined to make any kind of concessions whatsoever. And so I'm expecting that this is going to be long and drawn out. There are going to have to be efforts made by the international community, particularly by UN agencies, to provide basic humanitarian assistance to many people in the country. But I think the violence is going to increase, and we're going to see more of these people defense forces stepping up to fight back in the name of the people.
Right. Thanks so much, Phil, for that. Phil Robertson, their Deputy Director at the Human Rights Watch.